Thank you so much. We do this virtually now. This is the new normal. Director General, I have the honor to present to you my letter of introduction from Foreign Minister Marc Carneau. I am very proud of this designation, as I will be the first representative to take up the mantle at the start of my post. I firmly believe we have not only a lot to build upon, but a lot to accomplish together. I'm thrilled to be the second accredited ambassador from Canada to the OECS. And while we established formal diplomatic relations in 2019, the truth is that Canada and the Eastern Caribbean region, Eastern Caribbean islands, and the OECS have been together from the very beginning. The historical and people-to-people ties between Canada and OECS members run deep. And our shared cultural legacy of French and English colonialism profoundly shaped Canada and the Eastern Caribbean's development, a past that is thriving even today. Trade in sugar and saltfish have given way to other sectors. Canada is home to roughly 75,000 Caribbean Canadians from the OECS who make a meaningful contribution to the social fabric of my country. We know that being present matters. And while I cannot be in Castries in person today due to the pandemic, I'm delighted to meet you in the presence of the commissioners and broader diplomatic corps of the OECS. Technology does have some benefits. Today, we are meeting in an unprecedented way in the midst of an extraordinary global challenge. Responding to the COVID-19 pandemic requires cooperation and solidarity between countries and multilateral institutions. Canada will stand with you in this effort. In our region, the crisis is compounded by the vulnerability to natural disasters. The volcanic eruption that devastated St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which has also affected Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada, and the region, is an unwelcome reminder of our shared exposure to natural events that cross borders and can strike anytime. Hurricanes, Sahara dust, earthquakes, and floods are exacerbated by climate change. The generosity and solidarity OECS members have shown St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a shining example of how we all need to behave as neighbors in a hemispheric family. We too are responding, and it will take all of us working together to address the immediate basic needs of those affected by the volcano and to recover. The crisis has exposed the fragility of global value chains and inequity of market access, including access to essential goods like PPE and vaccines. We must tackle these challenges as friends, partners, and neighbors. We know the OECS is committed to our partnership. We are also actively looking for opportunities to engage more directly with the OECS as an institution. On this, I am looking to you and the commissioners for guidance and advice on how best to engage. I'm not only looking at opportunities for projects and programming ideas in international assistance, but also a genuine dialogue between partners. What mechanisms should we take advantage of or create to engage substantively with one another on key issues of joint concern? We also know that engagement will also potentially include OECS diplomatic representation in Canada, and I look forward to that file advancing during my tenure. We are committed partners to the OECS, its members, and other concurrent multilateral partners such as CARICOM, the Commonwealth, and La Francophonie. We are standing with you shoulder to shoulder through COVAX, where Canada has contributed $325 million. Canada is a predictable and consistent partner. We are in it for the long haul. Just as the Eastern Caribbean's prosperity is dependent on a rules-based international order, so too is Canada's. I am confident that Canada and the OECS will continue to work together as friends towards a more prosperous, safe, and secure hemisphere. I sincerely hope to return to St. Lucia, where I met you, Director General, last at a CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, to meet you again in person as soon as travel and conditions permit. Thank you.
Ambassador, we welcome this ceremony. Virtually may not necessarily be a bad thing because it allows us to do in some ways things differently and better. But allow me to say, before going into my official remarks, that it is really an extraordinary pleasure to welcome you as Ambassador, noting also your original place of birth, which has been very helpful to us in the context of this COVID. So while we welcome you as the Ambassador of Canada and the Ambassador Plenipotentiary, we also welcome you by virtue of your native birthplace for the solidarity shown to the OECS. I also need to know that virtually all of us on this call have relatives who either have lived in Canada, have studied in Canada, or who, myself included, have been the beneficiaries of Canadian assistance by way of scholarships. I owe a great deal personally to Canada. So we are particularly pleased at this accreditation and the continuity of the relations between Canada and the OECS. As I've indicated, Canada has had a long-standing positive relationship with the member countries of the OECS. And it is a relationship that is based on a shared Commonwealth heritage, common values, and very solid people-to-people links. Political and diplomatic relations developed bilaterally between Canada and the member states of the OECS has resulted in development assistance to the region and mutually beneficial programs of cooperation. A notable program of significant benefits to both sides is the bilateral agreement between the member states of the OECS and Canada for the implementation of the Seasonal Agricultural Workers Program, which is guided by the regulations of the Canadian Temporary Foreign Worker Program. The ECLS, the Eastern Caribbean Liaison Service, is an entity which was established in 1976 by member states that are currently member states of the OECS that were in bilateral agreements with Canada to administer jointly their interests in the Canada Caribbean Seasonal Agricultural Workers Program. The ECLS serves as a mechanism for coordinating the participation of OECS nationals in the Canadian Temporary Foreign Worker Program. Currently, it provides worker welfare services for OECS citizens who are employed on farms in Ontario, British Columbia, Quebec, New Brunswick, Alberta, Prince Edward Island, and Saskatchewan. The member states and the Commission are particularly excited about this program, which assumes a high priority in the region. It is our intention to expand opportunities for temporary workers from the OECS to embrace a wider range of skills and to increase the number of workers. And let me say parenthetically that since COVID and as well the volcanic eruption in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, this program has really proved the solidity of its benefits because we have had a couple hundred workers leave the OECS by special charter to engage in employment in Canada. A significant portion, I think over 80% of whom came from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So indirectly, Canada has made a huge contribution in a humanitarian way, but in a way that also preserves human dignity by enabling persons from St. Vincent to go earn comparatively better wages than they would have earned even within the Caribbean at a time of such critical importance. The program importantly also enables skilled persons to earn a living without migrating illegally. The recent statistics indicate that 1,048 workers participated in the program in 2020 alone, earning and generating remittances of approximately 37 million EC dollars. In the past triennium, $96 million has been earned and remitted directly to families in the Eastern Caribbean. And I'm sure Your Excellency would appreciate the magnitude of that direct contribution. Excellency, the Commission has received from Global Affairs Canada options for the regularization of the liaison service in Toronto. And these options are currently being reviewed by the Commission in consultation with member states, and it is expected that a decision by the organization will be communicated shortly. The matter has been of concern to both member states and the Commission, and it is our intention to resolve this issue expeditiously. And we expect to count on strong dialogue with your High Commission in order to resolve this matter. In terms of programs of cooperation between the OECS and the Government of Canada, Canada's major contribution has been its historical contribution, as I said earlier, to human resource development of the region, both through its scholarship programs as well as its placement of Canadian volunteers in development work in OECS member states at the bilateral level. As I told your predecessor when she presented her credentials, I had the honor of representing the Caribbean in a previous life as the Caribbean board member on the CUSO board of directors. And virtually every Canadian I've met at a high level in both government and the private sector has at some point in their life been a CUSO volunteer. So it really speaks to the reach of that program and its impact on Canada's empathy to third world issues. The Commission has also benefited through several projects, which I will endeavor to mention. And we are thankful and appreciative of the tremendous benefits that have accrued to member states and the Commission because of the successful implementation of the following programs. The first is the OECS Institutional Strengthening Project, a CEDA-funded project of 2005. The ISP, as it was called, was developed in direct response to the need for a strategic repositioning of the then OECS Secretariat to become the OECS Commission, to enable us to attain greater operational effectiveness and efficiency in implementing the integration and development mandates of the revised Treaty of Bastille. The ISP was to serve as a change agent in the institutional strengthening of the Commission and was meant to be an agent for the strengthening the operational and administrative capacities and supporting its transition to a center of excellence to be better able to assist member states in meeting and overcoming emerging development challenges. The project started in 2005 and came to a close in 2015. The other is the Comprehensive Disaster Management Harmonized Implementation Program, which was funded jointly by CEDA and DFID in the area of the environment and valued at $517,000 US in 2008. It was a 5-year program that concluded in March 2013, and it was implemented by the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CEDIMA, in partnership with the OECS and in further collaboration with DFID and CEDA, who provided the funding of approximately $11.7 million US. The objective of that program was to enhance institutional support and community resilience to mitigate, respond to, and recover from the adverse effects of climate variability and change and disasters in CEDIMA member states. The program's management structure was quite unique in that it provided a multi-donor, harmonized approach for support of the regional enhanced comprehensive disaster management strategy. The other is the Project for Regional Advancement of Statistics in the Caribbean, PRAS. This project is a Government of Canada funded statistical capacity building project which targets 14 member states of the Caribbean community, including OECS member states. And it seeks to strengthen the statistical systems of the participating countries by addressing identified gaps to improve socioeconomic measures, and to support evidence-based policy making. The project was approved in 2015 with a funding of 19.5 million Canadian dollars and an end date. It ends in March 2022. PRAS has provided technical assistance to the member states by focusing on 4 components. One was the enhancement of the systems of national accounts. The second was improving economic statistics by working on a robust business survey infrastructure. Thirdly, to improve social statistics, including sex disaggregated or gender disaggregated social economic indicators, and by working on a robust survey infrastructure for household surveys. And 4, improve sharing of statistical information and expertise at the national and regional level by enhancing communication and dissemination strategies. The project, which is a collaborative initiative with Statistics Canada, has already yielded positive results in the advocacy of statistics and building member states' capacity. In the area of justice, the Impact Justice Program is a Canadian government-funded project implemented within the Caribbean Law Institute Center at the Faculty of Law UWI-Kville campus. The project's 3 main components refer to the drafting of model legislation and the training of drafters, public legal education, and continuing legal professional development for the legal profession of the region, and also alternative dispute resolution. In recent years, we have worked closely with Impact Justice on the establishment of a sex offender register for the OECS. Member states would wish to adopt a joint approach on this matter in consideration of the free movement of persons regime within the OECS region. There is also the Judicial and Legal Reform Project of June 2004, which the Caribbean Supreme Court entered a contribution arrangement with the Canadian International Development Agency, CEDA then at the time, for the continuation of a judicial and legal reform project focusing on court reform initiatives aimed at improving efficiency in the magistrates' courts and supporting the court structures project in general. The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court continues to benefit from that generous support of the Juris project. And last year, the Supreme Court received a donation of laptops from the project, which assisted in the court's efforts to devise ways of dispensing justice despite the negative effects of the pandemic. Then the establishment of diplomatic relations, as Your Excellency well knows, was only established in 2019, but it signaled Canada's interest in tapping further into the potential for cooperation with the OECS and to strengthen relations. Excellency, your credentials are being presented at a time of global uncertainty, as you've noted, resulting from not just the COVID-19 pandemic, which has captured the attention of every nation, but disasters as well, specific to the OECS region, which highlighted by the volcanic eruption in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Notwithstanding all of this, there is, however, reason for optimism and celebration. We are approaching an exciting time in the history of the organization. On June 18th of this year, we will be celebrating our 40th anniversary. Plans have been developed for celebrating this momentous occasion. It is a milestone achievement for the organization, which is primarily involved in development activities, which have a profound impact on the lives of the people of the region. Excellency, I look forward to engaging in discussions with you on matters of mutual interest and on concrete plans for the further strengthening of relations between Canada and the OECS for the mutual benefit of our respective peoples and regions. As you take up your assignment, let me assure you of my full support and wish you every success in the undertaking of your duties. Welcome to the OECS.